All right, welcome back to Anime Chaos. It's been a minute because we've been busy with life, but we're back. I'm
Yeah.
Kyle.
I'm Jai. Depending on when you see this, because you'll see it within this month. I'm not putting a timestamp on when this will be uploaded. So that's the goal where we're going with. It's kind of fly by the seat of your pants and jump off a plane and help you land. Just saying. Okay. So what are we talking about today?
We are talking about. Let me set the tone here for you for just a second because this is something I'm very passionate about right now. You know the phrase, they didn't have to go that hard? I hate that phrase in media. I genuinely do. Because simply put, you do have to go that hard if you want to stand out amongst the crowd. There is so much media out there. You have to go that hard if you want to stand out and succeed. That's what we're going to be talking about today. We are going to be basically arguing either for or against this particular phrase. I'm arguing against it and instead saying, yes, they do have to go that hard. Shai here will be arguing for it, but in the regard of...
It's not a negative. It's still not a negative. So even though it's against, it's still not a negative. You're saying it in a sense of like, yes, they had to go that hard. I'm saying the same thing, but I'm saying it. You're saying it still in an appreciative way.
Yes,
I'm saying it also in an appreciative way, but it's in that if you don't really understand English that well, you would take it at face value of what I'm saying. Meaning, like, I'm so grateful that you did go that hard, but you didn't have to, but I'm grateful that you did.
And see, I'm arguing in the case of too many companies will hear that and say, oh, well, then we really won't go that hard. We won't put in that much effort and you'll take whatever schlock we give you. Because that's often what tends to be the case that I have found anyway.
Well, the regurgitation kind of, well, okay. When we get further into it, what is your basis example?
Well, my basis example is that the shows that you and I watched as a kid, or even in the modern day, they stick with us when they put forth their very best effort. They don't stick with you if it's just more of the same thing that you've seen regurgitated 12 times over.
Or they stick with you and it's still not a good thing.
Yes, like, that's true.
One live action I can think of, top of my head, that even the actors themselves say we don't associate with that.
What was it?
Avatar.
Ah, yes, well, Avatar.
Not the second one that they redid, but I still didn't watch.
But they didn't go hard with that.
The first one, the very first adaptation, live action adaptation. One, you were saying the name's wrong.
The one with M. Night Shyamalan. Well, he didn't go hard. He didn't even try.
And the earthbending, I was like, so we in the Matrix,
the firebending, the waterbending, airbending, none of it was good.
The Matrix, everything is slow motion. What's going on? Like, it didn't look cool as I think they were trying to portray. And at that point in time, CGI was better, so it should have been at least something.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they could have done better.
Now I can see your argument in they didn't have to go that hard. When you think about something like the Disney live animated remake things that look too realistic, they really didn't have to go that hard. That's like too much.
Like the Lion King.
Like the Lion King, that's too much because you're going into the point of Uncanny Valley, and that's never a good thing.
They still did really good though, but yeah, it was kind of creepy in certain aspects of it. But they were very realistic, which again, they're trying to be true to what the actual animal looks like and not the cartoony, fictiony, where people that don't got two brains to rub together, like brain cells to rub together, and think that's what an actual lion looks like, or that's what an actual, what is he, a warthog? Look like.
Yeah.
Warthogs are ugly.
Mm-hmm. I understand that they did try to find something of a middle ground for Mufasa, just a touch though, where they try to actually give him more expression, because something that they failed to do at all was offer any expression in the Lion King movie. 2019 movie. But again,
for what it was still good though. For what they did for it was still good, and I still traumatized my friend because I told her, I said, "Hey, we're part of the stampede," and she started crying. I will be honest though, I didn't want to go see it. I've already seen the cartoon. I own the cartoon. I don't need to see that trauma again and again and again. I've seen it enough as a child. I don't need to see a live action rendition, more realistic live action rendition of that stampede situation. And we went to go see it in 4DX, which was, I was like, that's the only way I'm going to go see it.
That'll make it even worse.
That's what I said. I was like, that's the only reason why I'm going to go watch it. It was her birthday, so it was like, that's what she wanted to go see. So we're going to go. What you want to do for your birthday? However, we're going to do it in 4DX. And as we're in the scene, you know, the stampeding and everything, as we're moving around, the water's hitting you, the wind, blah, 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 and then the stampede scene happens, and I just lean over as we're in the stampede, And I go, actually, no, I think I waited till it was over. I said, we were part of that stampede, right? We killed Mufasa. She started crying a little bit, but it was okay. I took a little sick pleasure out of it, just a little bit, because I'm like, you're forcing me to watch this show again. You're forcing me to watch this movie. But overall, we enjoyed it for what it was. But yeah, what I did not Mufasa, I'm sorry, The Lion King live action. I have not seen Mufasa live action. Let me rephrase it. I have not seen that one. But either still, the animation on them.
Well, here's my argument, though, for why they do have to go that hard, though. Think of shows like Hey Arnold. Think of shows like Recess. Think of shows like some more modern titles like Phineas and Ferb, which has now got a new season coming out, apparently.
Yep.
Think of The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, for those of you who have seen that show and really should. It's a masterpiece. We will talk about it eventually. We will be talking about it eventually.
You'll probably be doing most of the talking, because I don't. I liked Winnie the Pooh, don't get me wrong. I even had a Winnie the Pooh bear, but I'm not deep into the lore.
There's no deep lore to be had. It's just gorgeous to look at.
It is really pretty.
But they had to go that hard for these shows, because if you didn't, even in the 90s, even in the 2000s, we're in 2025 at this point, as of the recording of this particular episode, there is so much material out there. You have to go hard if you want to stand a ghost of a chance of actually standing out. Otherwise, you're just going to fade into obscurity and be forgotten. You have to go that hard, and you have to put forth the effort. You have to tell a phenomenal story in some regard, whether it's episodic or if it's an overarching story. You have to have phenomenal writing that tells an excellent story. You have to have characters that grow. You have to have characters that are unique and stand out in their own regard and are complementary to each other, but can also contrast each other really well.
Yes, I agree with that. And also, I think to add to it possibly, it's kind of one of those, like, you can have the best actors, like your lineup can just be awesome. If the story sucks, this sucks.
Absolutely.
And it can go voice actors or just live actors as well. If you suck or the story sucks, it doesn't matter who you got in there, because the cast that you pick is what draws the audience if they have a good fan base. Because that's why, this person's in that show, I want to watch it, or watch this movie. This person's, they're doing I hear their voice, I know their voice, I'm going to watch this, animation or whatever the case may be. But then you're watching the show and it's like, I'm bored.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
what is going on? Or like another example for this umbrella, what we're talking about, is basically like a show that I'm watching, right? The two main characters, they're carrying the show. There are technically two other sub characters, like second leads, right? Or supporting characters in the show. The two main characters are the ones carrying the entire show. And then when they show the other characters, like what they're doing in their day-to-day that's not with the main characters, I'm just going,
do I care?
I don't. And that's the thing. I was like, you didn't give me nothing to really grasp onto them. There's nothing there with these characters. Like, I get where you're going. Like, you're trying to pair them together. And so you can kind of say, these two, they're childhood friends. I'm like, okay, cool. And we see clippets of them being childhood friends.
Okay.
But you don't really see anything else. So there's
no meaningful interaction.
Yeah, right off the rip, this person likes this person, right? And then this character is like kind of likes them, but so they don't know that they like each other. Let me put it that way. They know they're best friends. They don't know that they really like each other. That they like each other.
They like each other, but they don't know that the other person likes them back.
Yes. And so they do like the little flirty things like that. And I'm just like, okay, I see that this is the second couple. I get it. And then I'm like, okay. And then they show another couple and I'm like, okay, I see what you're trying to do there too. Just like the first 5 seconds of seeing them together. I'm just like, okay, I see what you're trying to do there too. Where's the backstory for them though? Like who did they have prior, besides working together, did they have any other prior relationships with each other? Like at one point, it looked like this person doesn't even like this person. Like, it's like a Sundara moment. Okay. It's like one of those. And you're just like, is it needed? And so again, do they have to go that hard? You needed to go harder in that sense. Yeah. Because I was like, I'm bored watching you. I skipped through them. I'm not even gonna hold you. I skipped through. I'm not gonna say what show it is because people like these characters. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with the actors. It's just the story writing and the story as a whole.
The story writing is, in my opinion, by far the most important part of anything. You could have a mediocre actor and it's not going to give the same weight.
But if the story is good.
If the story is good, if the writing is phenomenal, you can sometimes eke out even phenomenal things out of someone who's not top of their game.
That is true. Like,
you absolutely can.
And
I've got another perfect example for you where if they didn't go as hard as they did, it would not have been successful. I just recently watched the entirety of the current run so far of Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Gorgeous. But it could have been so boring if they did not do things the way that they did, because the stories are excellent. The characters are top notch, but not over the top.
Yeah.
They're not over the top in the slice, which can also be a deterrent in a way that it could become boring if it weren't for the fact that
like you're trying too hard.
Yes. If it weren't for the fact that they put action in the right places where it needed to be, but it was never too much. And even though Frieren herself is an overpowered character, within the context of the world, of the story, of the way they build everything up, makes total sense. And she still is viewed by someone higher up than her in terms of age and power as being a child that has not anywhere near reached the level of success that this person
Didn't she keep getting stuck in that treasure trap?
Yes.
Like,
I love that though, because it happens every time they do a transition scene. It's a clever little thing without it being too much.
Well, because when you look at it, she is, I think she's an elf.
She's an elf.
Like, she's an elf, so she's
over
already
1,000 years old.
so she's got years on her, so you think, this wise being, and then she's like, you keep getting tricked by the same thing.
She's still very much like a teenager trying to learn the world. It's hilarious in that regard.
And
maybe a young adult.
It would have been boring had it not have been with all the other elements in there, because her character is very much like, she kind of understands emotion, but it's kind of like, I've lived for so long, like I'm kind of detached, but at the same time I'm still connected to this.
And I love that the connecting thread is Himmel. The fact that Himmel and his adventures with her and the other two
shaped,
as well as everything that followed his death. The way that they did these transitions of years so that we saw a brief moment that encompassed the 50 years between the meteor shower and the next time the meteor shower would occur. It works. Time jumps like that can work, and sometimes they don't. But they work because we got a wonderful vibe, and then the music on top of that, it's lively, but it's not excessive. And it's calm at the same time.
And so, good music selection in shows goes really well. Like, a lot of the shows that I'm watching, granted, I'm really into watching Thai shows, if you know, you know. And so the music selection, I'm just like, you picked a really good, because it puts you in the mood. Like, immediately you know what the setting is supposed to be, right? And then, because sometimes the music can be misleading. You're just like, what we doing?
Yeah.
Like, you're shooting that person, but we're listening to this lively, jolly music, and you're just like, you're shooting somebody. Shouldn't it be,
But it can work in the case if the atmosphere suits the music.
It takes a little bit off the pressure, depending on the music. But sometimes if it's like, this is supposed to be like a serious-ish type moment.
Yeah, or it's supposed to be a terrifying, horrific moment, but then you've got lively jazz in the background that don't make no kind of sense.
Yeah, which is kind of like, think of like, what is it, Suicide Squad? With Harley doing her thing. She's crazy and insane, so we're seeing it from her viewpoint. So we got the lively music while she's shooting people or beating up somebody.
Oh, I can think of another one. Those of you who know the anime for Danganronpa, you don't want to watch it. Trust me, you don't want to watch it.
I was confused.
Those of you who know the scene that I'm about to talk about, the graduation of the student council, there is the sister of the mastermind behind everything sang the graduation song as they basically force the student council to kill each other.
Oh, lovely.
So you have this song of hope going on in the background while all hope is being lost at this moment. But
I see the irony in that, though.
It's terrifying. And it absolutely added to the atmosphere perfectly.
Yeah, I think that's the point.
That's what made it work. They went that hard. They went it to a place that is going too far, but in a way that makes sense for what's going on in the franchise.
And it goes both ways. Like, if they hadn't done it that way, it probably wouldn't have had the same impact.
Nope.
And at the same time, for viewers like me who gets hyped about stuff like that, we'd be like, you don't have to go that hard, but we appreciate it because it hit its mark. And so and by saying, you didn't have to go that hard, we're not hating on it. We're very much appreciating that you're doing this.
Yes, I recognize that it's a very positive viewpoint. It's just that I know that I know companies are going to hear that and they're going to think, oh, well, then we'll just not put forth the effort.
We'll just throw out whatever and they'll watch it. No.
Yeah, no, that's not how that works. That's why with this most recent, highly excited feeling for K-pop Demon Hunters has that's a good movie. Very impressive because they've actually got in contact with real K-pop people. They have someone in charge who actually loved and wanted to share their passion for K-pop, and they built everything. The only issues I have with that particular movie is that there's a few scenes that were clearly cut with it. Honestly, needed to be in there. Like
some of the scenes.
Yeah, right there towards the very end of the movie, there's very clear as she's talking to her aunt that there's this then transition and there's something missing in there. A transition.
But I think it could have been intentional because they might do another one. So it's probably intentional to be like, wait, you know.
Yeah, I don't like sequelitis though, and we're deep in sequelitis, and that's another issue I have.
It depends on which one, how you do it.
Yes.
Here's my thing with you little soda pops, right? How dare you take BTS #1 spot in a week? When I saw that, I'm like, they lying. This animated, I know it's K-pop Demon, this animated K-pop song. K-pop, so they're not even a real group. Just took the spot of an actual. It is a catchy song. My little soda pop. So like it's a catchy song, but I'm just like, really?
Yeah.
Really? But
that's probably my least favorite song of the bunch, but only because it's a boy band and I don't care for boy bands much. But
I care for boy bands more than girl bands. I
prefer girl bands.
Well, you're a dude, so.
I am a dude. But I actually prefer solo artists above all else.
I was about to say, I don't get me wrong. There's some girl groups I'm just like, I would probably see them, but I'm mostly with female solo artists. Like Jessie, who just got her news. Oh, that song is awesome.
Jessie's got a new song out? Jessie J?
No, she's a K-pop artist. Her
name's Jessie. Okay.
Yeah, like Jessie got her new song, Newsflash. Love that song. And then, of course, you got CL. Now, granted, like 21, I like them as a whole group. I wish I'd have been into K-pop earlier to actually see them. And I know we're talking about movies, like they didn't have to go that hard, but you could just say artists in general, because going to these concerts and the production that they be putting on, like you didn't have to do all that, but I appreciate you and I love you even more just because you did that.
See, I like female artists more because they have significantly more range.
In what sense?
Vocally.
That's why you have boy groups.
They have significantly more range.
That's why you have boy groups that can hit different ranges.
But it just
or you have the all-rounder. Like
it just doesn't hit the same for me.
It hits just right for me, especially with X Love, this new group. You should check it out, by the way. It is a boy. It is a boy group, but they're literally.
I'm not opposed to boy groups. I've got many boy groups on.
It's a K-pop group, though. So right. But anyway,
I like hard rock more. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that gives me a headache depending on who it is. I say that, but it just depends on the artist.
It does depend fully on the artist.
Yeah, so there's some that I listen to. I don't like screamo. Can't get me into screamo. That to me is that you're doing too much.
I can get behind a little bit of screamo as long as it's not the whole song. But if you're using it
parts,
like Hunter x Hunter's opening theme, or it was at the ending theme, one or the other. There's screamo in there, but it works.
I think that's my thing. Is that when it's in certain spots, I'm like, yes, you needed that, and then some parts I'm just like, oh my, I get a headache. That's my main thing against screamo. It gives me a headache if it's just too much going on in there. And I'm like, what are you saying?
I just don't care for generic pop fluff where they don't do anything.
Because Linkin Park, do they have screaming moments in there?
I don't know. I don't listen to Linkin Park.
I like Linkin Park.
I
haven't listened to them in a long time.
I haven't listened to enough of them to have an opinion on them. I maybe listened to 2 or 3 songs, maybe no 2 or 3 songs, so I can't judge.
Yeah, I think they might have a little bit in there, but again, it was needed. So again, it goes back to like you didn't have to do all that. Yeah, you did. It wouldn't hit the same.
Yeah,
it wouldn't hit the same.
Getting back a little bit on target here, I'm thinking of something like The New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, the opening theme, where they showcase a little bit of everything from several episodes.
Yeah,
they absolutely give you a full understanding of the adventures that you're about to watch with these characters in just those opening credits. And back then, well, now even, but back then when there wasn't quite as much animation out by comparison to today, you had to catch your audience's eye, and bright colors, good movement, likable, fun, enjoyable characters. You absolutely had to do that. Or the opening theme to Hey Arnold. Just how we were talking about that, the jazz. You know exactly what the aesthetic is going to be just off of that opening theme alone, because they're giving you an understanding that these kids are living in a Seattle-like city world that's kind of a cross between New York and Seattle and
Yeah, I was like, it's giving more like Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. It's a combination of all of that, and because this is all places that the creator lived in as a kid and grew up, and so he's literally telling you his life story through these characters, and you're getting a full feeling of what it was like for him as a kid back in that time period.
I loved Hey Arnold.
Through that jazz.
I still love Hey Arnold. Like
it's a gorgeous show.
Listen, even to this day, if I would sit down and watch it, I would still love it. Because as kids, you watch certain things,
Mhm.
and then you go back and watch it at like older, and you're just like, why did I like
you resonate with it even more because
and some you just like, why did I watch this?
Yes.
Hey Arnold is not one of those. Hey Arnold's like, yes, like I will
Yes.
go back and watch that.
But of course, it's also something that's probably tougher for a younger audience because
The pacing.
yes, the pacing is important, but they also didn't shy away from real things. Like Helga did not live a good childhood. She lived in an abusive home with an alcoholic mother and a father that ignored her, didn't beat her up, but was definitely very violent.
What about
And the only thing they got along with is that they both liked wrestling.
What about and that's the only thing they could bond over was that because he wanted boys and he had girls.
He loved Olga because Olga was perfect, and Helga could never reach those standards because they never gave her the chance.
Yeah.
They ignored her from birth.
Wasn't one of them an alcoholic?
Yes, the mother's an alcoholic. Although they explained that part with milkshakes or shakes or whatever it was because they couldn't straight up say alcohol.
She was always with the
But she always had this monotone sort of voice to her.
That's
she
how
was
they did the
drunk.
milkshakes.
Yeah.
You see how I think that back then.
I mean, they
put
just said
stuff in
shakes, but
Yeah.
you could figure it out as an adult that it was an
shake.
alcoholic beverage.
But no, what was the one that always wanted a sandwich and his wife finally left him?
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm talking
Oscar.
about?
Oscar and Susie. Oscar and Susie.
Yeah, didn't she finally leave him?
No, actually.
She left him for a little bit.
She
though.
did.
And then he got his act
moment.
together.
He got his act together, but he also did do some positive things, like he finally learned to read, which he came from a foreign country. I don't know which one, but he came from a foreign country where he didn't know how to read, at least in the English language. I don't know if he could read in his own language or not. But he also was a bum who didn't ever get a job.
I like the fact that, again, it goes with the whole theme of this episode, is that we didn't just see Hey Arnold and his friends. We got to see the people in the neighborhood.
Yep.
So you got to know
the
and
full
love.
atmosphere of everything.
Yeah, you got to know, love, or dislike everyone in that neighborhood.
And they weren't afraid to give you characters to hate. That's part of it.
Yeah,
like you could find yourself loving the characters. Like Harold was a character that a lot of people hated for a long time, but then he got on so well with kinda, yes.
Yeah.
But he also got on so well with Big Patty, and he started to become much.
Growth.
Yes, he grew and he became more of an adult in that he had a sexist viewpoint towards girls, but then grew to really appreciate Big Patty, and Big Patty got to be able to show her softer side that she wasn't allowed to show more of, because the viewpoint of her from the others around her is that she's big, she must be super tough. She is super tough, and therefore she's scary and a bully and dangerous. But we get to see so many viewpoints of these characters that a lot of them are hurting, and in ways that you don't expect. And you've got the outside judgmental viewpoint, but then you've also got these internal moments that get to shine through once in a while.
Yeah, I really liked Hey Arnold. I just like the show in general. And yes, was creepy? Yes, but I did like the movie in the sense that they finally did get together, because they never really got together in the show. They did when they made that Disney movie, which everyone used to know back then. Once you made a movie, the series was over.
Yeah,
you always knew, like, when they started making movies of the show, the series was getting wrapped up in that show. Same thing with Wild Thornberrys.
It wasn't supposed to for Hey Arnold, but the movie that released in theaters did so poorly that they just outright canceled it.
I loved the movie,
and so that's when they finally, in 2017, finally gave us a jungle movie that everybody had been wanting, that Craig Bartlett, who's the creator, had wanted to make, and that was going to be the original theatrical release movie. And
I think
they switched it around, so the movie that went into theaters was supposed to be on TV. And then they swapped them around against Craig Bartlett's wishes, to my understanding, and because they thought it being a more of an action-packed
Spy-ish type
thing
movie,
would have
yeah.
appealed to more in general. But it was the weaker movie by far, and so they just lost all faith in a property that up to that point had been phenomenal.
Well, they could have just shot it off as canon, because that's literally what that was. Because I was like, why are all of a sudden we spy agents? And I mean, it was cool. I liked the movie, but I was like, why are all of a sudden we spy agents and stuff? You could have shot it as canon because people do that all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So again, both of these are just appreciations. Mine is just like, oh my God, they didn't have to do that. And it's like,
yeah,
thank you for doing it.
Yes.
And his like, no, they absolutely, and then Kyle would be like, no, they absolutely had to do that. Like his would be like, no, they didn't need to do that. And I'm just like, I know, but so it's the different, like we're both agreeing.
Yes, we are agreeing,
it's just
definitely.
like,
and we both appreciate that. I appreciate that it is a positive statement. I appreciate that it is very much you didn't have to, but I'm glad that you did. But I look at it from the viewpoint of, like Sony or Disney or whatever is going to look at that and say, well, if we don't have to, we're not going to. We're not going to put forth the effort. Because people are still going to buy it.
Yeah.
But that's just not reality.
Yeah.
You have to put forth that effort. You have to create something that is memorable and that is going to stick with your audience if you want it to have staying power. Just creating a series off of something that's not going to have any staying power is not going to do you any good. Like, for example, How to Train Your Dragon is a beloved series of movies. They also had a TV series that went over extremely well because it filled in a lot of gaps.
Yeah.
Technically, they didn't have to go that hard because the movies did a great job of finishing everything up as it needed to be. But they did. And they did a great job with it. And as such, it's a well-loved series for people who love the movies.
I want to say, because I have not seen the live action yet, and I really want to go see that. What I have seen, like snippets of what I have seen, thank you. Thank you so much for doing it right. Because I have an example of doing it all types of wrong.
Oh, yes.
But thank you so much for doing it right. Because, you didn't have to do that, but you did. And we appreciate you because you understand essence and just, you understand, like, if I'm taking this and I'm supposed to be adapting it to a whole different other type of media, that means adapting the whole thing in its entirety to it, unless some things are just not plausible or just filler, you can take those out.
I think I know what you're talking about.
But that's what they did with How to Train Your Dragon. So from what I've seen, from what I've heard, I'm just like, yes. I will definitely come and see you. I want to come see you because I like the series and I like the movies and everything like that. I'm pretty sure I cried in the theaters.
I actually haven't seen all of the How to Train Your Dragon movies, so it never has connected to me the same way that it has for other people. I went to theaters
to watch it, and who did I go to watch it with? I went with somebody, maybe it was her, but we went to go see, I think, the second one. The second one was when the mom pops back in, I think. So yes, so we went to see the second one. In theaters and everything. Like, I really enjoyed the franchise as a whole. I liked the series because each episode was different. You got introduced to different dragons, but they weren't just like forgetting the other dragons either. You still got to see them recurring. So it's like, oh, I remember that person. So they did the show really, really well, and they didn't have to. And again, they did not have to do that, but I'm glad that there are still people, artists and producers out there that's just like, no, we know what this vision wants to be. We're not going to give you just garbanzo beans. We're going to actually give you some meat and potatoes and some grit, right? And then you have the other ones just like, oh, it's a family classic. The 90s kids are adults now and they have their own kids. They'll go see it anyway, regardless if we give them absolutely junk.
I hate that mentality so much. And that's something I have here in my notes of an argument. Kids want quality too. It's not just adults who want quality. Kids want quality. They recognize quality. And if they don't like something, their pure minds are going to tell you straight up, no, I don't like that. Or your kid audience is going to be an audience that you have to actually properly cater to effectively. You do, because they remember it, because it becomes a core memory for them.
You have to also understand, if you're taking shows that's from the 90s or the 2000s, guess who's paying for that movie? I'm going to watch it. It's really, you're targeting me.
Yes, you're targeting not only your child audience, but you're also targeting the audience that grew up with the original.
With the OG. 1000%. So we're just excited as the kids to go see this movie. And
so it had better be good.
But if they have not seen the OG, so they're just like, oh, yay. And the rest of us are going, what the heck?
Yeah.
What is that? What did you do? Why did you do that?
You have to understand what it is that you are making.
So yes, we didn't spend our money, and our kids is like, they liked it. Some might be like, I don't really know, or confused, or like, I don't really. And then you show them the originals if you hadn't already showed them before.
And then they'll wind up thinking, oh, well, you know what? Never mind. I actually don't like what I just saw.
Yeah, or some of them are just like, They don't care. So
Yeah,
it just
there are
depends.
some like that. For
So,
sure.
but as adults, the ones that grew up with the OGs, you're just kind of just like, you did so much better than the original, and like you took it to that level. Why did you dial back? And again, it goes to back when people say, "Oh, they didn't have to do that hard," and they dialing back on stuff. You cannot tell me you didn't have money. You cannot tell me that they didn't have money to get the actors and the costumes that they would have needed to do
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Is that what we're on?
No, I'm not even talking about that tragic. I'm not even talking about that.
I kind of love the beautiful tragedy that came from it because that's funny as hell to watch.
I'm not even talking about that tragic train wreck. No, my main issue is with Lilo.
I have not watched the movie. I'm just saying I love that all the drama came from. It's like, we told you no, and you did it anyway, and now you're going to pay for it.
Well, my thing is there's a lot of little people in the world. You tell them it's the Willy Wonka situation all over again with Johnny Depp. Now, don't be wrong, I love me some Johnny Depp, but the Oompa Loompas creep me out because they're all the same person with the same face.
Yeah.
You got the original one. I'm not saying that their working conditions were great, but they at least had different little people to play these characters. You're trying to tell me you couldn't have found some little people? There's some celebrity little people. I'm not talking about the one that did Game of Thrones, but others that could have gone in to do the dwarves. You only needed 7 of them.
But you went with that 3D disaster.
Weirdness. So, like, you had people that could have done it. And representation matters. You're still asleep, okay? Don't act like you're out of bed, okay? You're still asleep. Don't even play that game.
They're sleeping harder than Sleeping Beauty herself.
Yeah, so no, I was talking about Lilo and Stitch. Like,
oh, Lord.
So much cutting out of that move that you did. You needed to go hard. Go big or go home. And you should have stayed home at that point.
They should have just left it alone, is what they should have done, because it's already a perfect movie on its own. You didn't need to remake it.
I would have been fine, because, you would get, like, the Hawaiian representation of people from the island. You'd have gotten...
yeah, but even the Polynesian people are saying, no, you did this so wrong. It's not even close to good.
They should have gotten the actual people. And that's what I'm saying. If you want to do it, you should have got the actual people and getting them the good representation instead of just getting whoever and whatever. Yeah. Like, there would have been so many different characters that could have played. Like, was Bubbles even in it?
No, but Lonnie's voice actress was in there as the social worker lady who... No, because ultimately what happened is that basically...
I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm saying...
Yeah, it's just... I didn't even have to watch that movie to know I was going to hate it because I knew they were going to screw it up. And they did. And everybody's angry about it. I'm angry about it just without having to watch it. I haven't watched most, if any, of these live action movies since I think that first Cinderella remake came out.
There's a lot of Cinderella, so you got to be more specific.
The one from the early 2000s. I don't remember which one. It doesn't matter. The point is, that was probably the last time they put any real effort in there.
Here's my thing. Again, with live actions... Go big or go home. My thing is with
animation, go big or go home.
Same thing.
Do it right.
Every time. Do it right. If you're going to do it right.
And get good writers in there that want to tell a real story. And for the love of God, companies, quit holding your creative teams back. You may be business savvy, but you're clearly not creative savvy. Stop it and let your creative teams do what they are there to do, because they know how to create something that will appeal to people creatively. Let them do it. Please.
Like, okay, for example, there's a movie, it's old, but it's called Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. A lot of those scenes I'm coming to find out was ad-libbed. You had a bunch of comedians in that show, and they
ad-lib if it's done right.
Literally just was bouncing off of each other. Some of those scenes wouldn't have been as funny, wouldn't have been as impactful. The movie probably wouldn't have been as good had you not have done that. Like the scene where when they're trying to find out who is the father of that baby, right? And then you have Bernie Maxwell, I'm the pappy. Apparently that was ad-lib. He wasn't supposed to do that. The laughing that happens was not part of the script at all. They were just all broke characters and started laughing because it was funny. The scene where you had the one character...
And the best directors know to keep that kind of stuff in there.
Yeah, there's like, we're leaving it. And then the scene where one of the characters was gay in prison, he was getting out. That wasn't in there. He was just going to just fade out and just die. They were just going to kill him. And the actor himself was like, no, why? Why is that? Because as a person watching it, they're going to know, why is he running? Why did he run and get... Because it was going to fade out with him getting shot and falling. Yeah, questions would have been, why did he get shot? What happened? What was he trying to escape it? Right?
You have to give context.
Exactly. And so the creator was like, okay, the director was like, okay, then give him something. Give them something. And so he said that whole thing with the story and him talking to Eddie Murphy was ad-libbed, and Eddie Murphy just bounced off of him.
And that's the best thing. the best actors, the best anybody in the world, not only can volley and bounce off of each other, but they can just absolutely fall right into place and it feels fully natural.
Yeah, and
that
so
is not easy to do.
A lot of shows can, they have fun with it. If everyone's having fun with it, it's a great show, a great experience for everyone involved.
Mm.
I think another one was it Ghost Stories, one I told you about a long time ago when we were in college.
Yep.
The dubbed did better than the subbed because the creators had freedom to just write whatever that they had in there.
And of course, the modern day people look at it and they're like, no. But here's the thing about that is that none of that was serious. It's asking you to laugh at yourself because they make fun of every single person in the world.
I think the Daikon Brothers, that anime, I think that one also, that anime, I think they also had creative freedom.
I think so too.
And it was the time when I tried to find everything.
And Samurai
with
Pizza Cats, they had total freedom because they never had the script sent over to them for that.
Oh.
So they
turned out good?
Oh, it's fully just joke anime from start to finish. I don't remember what it's originally called. It just became Samurai Pizza Cats over here. And it was from the 90s era. So it was from that time frame where it was pretty common for kids shows to get a certain amount of joking ad lib thrown in there anyway. But it's a more kid friendly version, if you will, of Ghost Stories to some degree, where they're not saying anything nearly so hateful or adult or anything, but there's definitely alluding to some
certain
stuff
things
periodically. But then there's also just someone just said whatever came to their mind first, and that's the words that fell out of their mouth.
I know. I liked the good old animations back then. Let me preface that by saying some animations back then. But I really hope that with this day and age of just spitting stuff out, that they still take the time to go as hard as, like, I know that I could push the limits. Like, for example, Solo Leveling, Windbreaker. These are the two animes, which, by the way, about to, come out in another season. They are so good. And
I still need to finish Solo Leveling. I got a few episodes in, but have not finished it.
It is one of those shows you're just like, you didn't have to do that, but thank you so much. Let the artist rest, because I know they tired.
Yeah.
I know they hands hurt.
Don't push your artists to the point of crunch, please. Don't do that. Give proper time frame to get things done, please.
I know we're saying when's the next season, but at the same time, take your time. Take your time.
I would rather things go slow and get there later on, and have something that's of high quality and that you did not push all of your workers to the point of crunch than I ever would something just that has been thrown out there, is not meeting the best standards, is animated poorly, and you crunched your people to the point of exhaustion. Please don't do that. I don't like it. It's bad practice. Stop it.
These two animes, there's more, but these are just the ones right now on the top of my head that I can think of, are amazing. Absolutely. The Windbreaker, the POV changes. 1 minute you're the person getting hit. Next person you're the person doing the hitting. Like the movements, it's very smooth. Yeah, the flow of it is very, very smooth. Mm-hmm, it's so good. Mm-hmm. And so they didn't have to do all that, but it's just like, like it keeps you on the edge of your seat, and it just keeps you going, making like exclamations and everything like that. But the story is like, with Windbreaker, is all about like accepting yourself and accepting others and just like accepting help and everything. And so there's a story behind it. It's not just all fighting, but when it gets down to the fighting part, which is what a lot of people are watching the show for, the fighting, it's done so well. Like as a whole, everything is done beautifully. The animation style, the colors, it's not too much in your face, it's not too diluted. And so they do really well with it. Same thing with Solo Leveling. Like when you see him like really just like turning on like the eye glow. I don't know why, but I love a good eye glow in an anime, because you know something about to go down. It's about to hit the fan. You just know, like you this close to almost dying.
Yeah, like say for example, Kurapika in Hunter x Hunter, where he's got those scarlet eyes and they only glow scarlet when he's angry, or he can turn off. You know something's about to go down when underneath his contacts that he wears, you see that glow.
It still comes through.
Through, and he's literally about to end someone's existence in that moment of time.
Yeah, it's done really, really well. So again, not shitting on it or anything like that. It's thank you so much for doing what you did. And sometimes it doesn't have to be such big production of, you didn't have to go that hard. It could be something just subtle, something small, just like attention to detail. And
Yes.
so it doesn't always have to be something this huge, big production, like I was saying with Solo 11 or Windbreaker, which is right in your face because they're fighting and everything. It could just be tiny little things like, hey, did you notice that you could have completely disregarded that, but this one little tiny thing that they fixed, like shifted this out of the way, or you moved
Yep.
out of this,
Yep.
moved out of the way.
It added that
relatable.
one little note of detail that you kind of needed, and they didn't have to go that hard, but they did.
Yeah,
and
they
good
didn't
for
have
them
to
for
do
doing
that.
that.
Yeah, they didn't have to put so much attention to that detail. And I think with saying, "Oh, you don't have to go that hard," is literally just saying the attention to detail.
Yep.
Because again, some people, like how with certain corporations, are just like they'll watch it regardless of what it is because it's this part of the franchise. Like, say, for instance, if they did another
Frozen movie.
yeah, that or like the Pirates of the Caribbean. If they do anything like that, you're going to watch it because of the name. You're going for the name, right? And you're going for the actors that's in it. But I'm like,
brand
but if
recognition is
but
relied
it's like,
on too heavily,
but I'm
though.
like, I get that, but at the same time, can it make my money's worth? That's what the money's
really.
worth, please. Like the same thing with the Fast and the Furious movies.
Especially if you're going to throw
there's
that
like
much
10.
money at something, make it worth every penny that you have put
Because
into it.
the
Please.
mentality is they'll go and watch it.
Yeah.
They'll watch it regardless of what it is.
And then it'll get reviewed to hell, and then it'll be talked about for months on end, especially if it's poor. But stop that.
People still
Let
watch
it be reviewed because it's something that's beloved. That's what's happening with that K-pop Demon Hunter movie because Sony was scared to release it in theaters because it's an original thing.
Yeah. It's original. I look at it bad.
Let this be a lesson to Sony that releasing something with an original title behind it still 100% works. You just have to put the heart and soul behind it to make it worth it.
Yeah, you got actual K-pop artists
and appreciators
and people and appreciators and like just people in the industry and like that know it in it. You just didn't get random people to play these characters. You got actual artists, people that are part of that culture and part of that community. Part of this project, and so it turned out really well. Plus, you had K-pop in it. You were already going to get people that's in the K-pop community to watch.
You were already going to get people. You could have put out mindless schlock, and people would have still said, "Okay," as long as the songs were good. But they didn't. They said, "Let's make a real movie. Let's tell a genuinely solid story. Let's make this music bomb as all get out."
Yeah, like a catchy song. They're catchy songs in their own right because and you have to also look at K-pop Demon Hunters this way too. The tropes that they put in there, because that's also what the actual artists, K-pop artists, go through. You have the one that's always personified as the bad boy or the baby of the group, right? And so you have them all dressed certain ways, and they all kind of personify a certain image that certain fans give these artists. And then it's funny how they see, because it's like, oh yeah, because like they look like actual K-pop artists, right? Because that's usually how some of them are portrayed as. They some of them, regardless if they say that title themselves, they be like, oh, that one, he always showing his muscles, and this one over, like, oh, he's such a baby, his baby face. And then you have the one that's always like drinking a bottle. He just like, this is my personality, this is my life because baby, right? So. But that's the persona they're showing to fans. And then when they see their actual demon personas come out, he's just kind of like, yeah. There's a lot of artists that are like that. They have that duality.
Isn't he a rapper too? The one that's baby?
Yeah, I believe he's. And his voice is deep because I was like, oh,
he's got a deep voice.
I was like, hey, Felix, because Felix is like that. Felix is like this really cute, like.
I had no idea who Felix is.
Stray Kids. Those are no.
Okay.
He's that character. He's that person where it's just like all sweet and innocent, and then he talks to you like, dude. Right, like when he starts rapping, you're just like, that voice did not come
out of
you,
that,
right? So,
out of that body.
So they literally did that because it's true. Some of these characters, you're just like, that voice came from you, and that's how his character is. He got this cute, like angelic face with that deep voice,
and it doesn't work, but it works.
Yeah, and it captivates you, which is kind of the whole premise of everything like that. But yeah, I think that's Maddie's one of Maddie's favorite idols. From Stray Kids is Felix, I think. Okay. But yeah, no, him.
I don't know Stray Kids. I've never heard of them. Are they?
She's more into them. They're K-pop artists.
They're K-pop artists. Okay, yeah, that's what I need to know.
Every name that I'm dropping at this point, because we're talking about this particular anime, is going to be a K-pop person.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'll have to show you a clip or just find a clip and send it to you of him just like talking. Like look at his face and hear him talk, and then hear him rap. You just like, how deep did that go? Deeper than the ocean. Wow. Right. Like his voice is just like, whoo, hello.
And let me guess, he's extremely skinny.
He's not skinny, but Slim.
slim,
Yeah.
not particularly muscular, and he's got a clean shaven, very baby face that looks like he's probably 10 years younger than he actually is.
I think they're all still pretty young, like in their early 20s, teens, I think. I don't follow Stray Kids, so don't come for me for that. I don't follow Stray Kids like that. I just know some of the characters, and I know Felix was the main one because of that voice.
Mhm.
Like that's the one that comes like, who's that? Right? That's the characters that, or the person that he is
Mhm.
for me. So don't come for me. I don't know Stray Kids like that. I'm sorry. I think they're called Stays. The fandom is called Stays because Stray Kids. But
Okay.
I don't come for me for that. But yes, no, he is very clean shaven. None of them actually have facial hair.
Well, that's not surprising. If it's a K-pop group, there's not very many Korean people out there that I've seen with facial hair.
Yeah, unless it's for like an acting role or something.
Yeah.
Or they do it for like a slapstick type humor.
But
But-
even then, you could honestly just do like
Unless they're an
glue-on
actor.
situation or something.
Unless they're an actor, some of the actors do have facial hair.
Okay.
But
I guess it depends on the role.
yeah, it depends on the role, and I think a lot of it, and some of them, again, like I said, we're talking about animations, we're talking about movies, we're talking about live actions, we're talking about music.
Oh, please go hard with your music. Please don't release an album of boring, monotone nonsense. I don't want to listen to it. I don't. I can think of an example. I absolutely love Kelly Clarkson's music. She's got a phenomenal voice.
Yeah.
She released an album, piece by piece. I was not a particularly fan of the album because almost every single song stayed at the same monotone level.
Wasn't she going through something?
She was going through a lot at the time, so it worked. The thing about Kelly Clarkson and her music is she is telling you the story of her life through every single album, every single one of them. I think she was going through her divorce at that time, so I fully respect the album. It's a good album. It's got a couple of songs on there I genuinely do like.
Mm.
But I was falling asleep listening to this album where just there was almost no, at any point in time, no highs were being hit, no lows were being sung. It just stayed so level, and it didn't interest me. And it's too bad because I'd been paying attention to the story she was telling throughout every single one of her albums up to this point. I think the only album that doesn't really do that entirely is her first debut album post American Idol.
Mm.
But I respect her entirely as a music artist, and I get that she was coming from a point of depression. I think is definitely a good way to put it. She was definitely coming from a point of depression after having things kind of go the way they did there. So she was going through a lot, and I respect that wholeheartedly. It's just there are songs in there I was just like, okay.
I like a good story. I think I think what their thing is with hers was the entire album was just the grieving part of it.
Yes, very much.
Whereas if you look at was it Lemonade by Beyonce? I don't remember.
Yeah.
But you had every song, a couple of the songs on there, it was like the stages of grief.
Mm-hmm.
And then acceptance, and then it's like, we're gonna work this out. Each one of the album, I don't remember it all. So I think it was the Lemonade thing, with her and the whole Jay-Z cheating situation, elevator thing. But the songs were like, you had him here, then you have this song up here, because she had high emotions at this point, and then she was like back to here, and then she
hit a real low.
Yeah, and so you saw the flux of emotions and like everything that she was going through. So it was beautifully well done.
I think at that point, Kelly Clarkson was probably just feeling kind of dead, and so that's the album that she was putting out. But I think of her album that came out after Breakaway. She was going through a lot emotionally because she was having to grapple with becoming famous and having to find that middle ground of being herself still, that hometown Texan girl, while still being now this extremely famous music artist. And that album had a lot of lows in it, but then it also came back up, and then it went way down there, and then it came back up, and it's honestly a very depressing album. My December, that's the name of the album. I love that album more because it's another low point for her, but you get that fluctuation of that low and that high and that low. Whereas with Piece of Me, I think she was just feeling so flat tone, just dead. She just couldn't bring herself to go above just that middle ground tone. it's all a personal thing. I know there are many out there that love that album, and more power to you. Please enjoy that album. Just because I didn't like it does not mean that you don't have to.
Yeah, and it's not like they're not going to like it regardless.
Mhm.
These are opinions.
Oh yeah.
With all of these, because like I said, some people love the Lilo and Stitch movie.
Yes, they do.
Regardless if you saw the original or you're just a kid going.
Yep.
They loved the original, not the original, the live action of it. They liked it.
Mhm.
Listen, we had drag queens before we knew what drag queens were, and y'all took him out of the dang show. What? I didn't even know what a drag queen was. I just knew what's his name? Pleakley? I just knew I liked him.
Oh,
I was
he's a
like, I
phenomenal
liked you.
character.
And then when they did the series, I always wanted to see what his outfits were going to be.
Right?
I
They
was
did a
like,
great job maintaining it throughout the entire series.
yeah, like I loved his character before I even knew what drag queens were.
Yeah, and then
Right,
it's
so-
not like we didn't have drag in our movies. Like if you think of,
To Wong Fu, I love that show.
well, I was thinking of Robin Hood, the 1970s one where they were foxes and bears and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a scene where they dressed in drag as fortune tellers.
Oh
in
yeah,
order-
I remember.
Yes,
I
and
remember
you
the
literally
footage of it.
see them running as they're changing.
Yeah, I was like, let's go.
I mean, we had drag from.
But I think
that
that was
era.
more like that was more like just disguising.
It was
I mean,
disguising.
granted, yes, Pleakley's is a disguise, but he was literally the embodiment of this is what I want.
Yeah.
So even when he wasn't dressed like that, he was still kind of just like this. So there's
Yeah.
a difference.
Yeah.
With Robin Hood and him, that was just kind of disguises.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
But the
I
fact
still
of the matter
liked
is
it,
that we had it.
yeah. And so it was
So-
kind of just like, oh,
Yeah.
And so I like that one. I like the Foxes and the Bear one.
I
like
love that movie, that
Yeah.
Robin Hood movie. That's one of my most favorite versions.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the animation,
like that whole thing, I loved it.
even though the animation's not great, and you can really see how rough it is because the 70s was a rough time for Disney.
But I still
They
liked
still
it.
put out quality, better quality than what you see today.
I still like that style. I still like that style
I
at that time.
love that
I feel like when
style.
people try to
Recreate?
recreate it, it doesn't hit the same.
No,
Like it doesn't hit the same as that. Even though you're trying to make it look exactly like that, it's just not.
it hit at the
Giving.
right place at the right time, and now it's not.
Yeah, I was like, it's not for me. This is just for me.
Yeah.
But like, no. So there's just so many instances, and then I don't know, but it's just some shows you could have gone better. You could have done better.
Mm-hmm.
There are some shows just like we so grateful that you did go that extra mile. You did take it as hard as you did. And then there are just some just like
You went too far, and
Yeah.
that's too much.
just like I don't know how to feel about that. But
The Uncanny Valley is always a mistake. Please stop it.
yeah, I was like, I don't know how I feel about you doing that in this situation, in this particular time. I don't care what like that one, I don't remember the anime. I think I mentioned it in a video in passing. The one where I have to, it's kind of like an isekai. She went back in time, so it's not really an isekai, I guess. Sort of, maybe.
Mhm.
Fix it
Mhm.
story,
Mhm.
that situation. Anyway, like remember I told you, I was like, you have to, in your mindset, you have to be like, think of the time era.
Mm-hmm.
Think of the time era. Because this is like a 20-year-old with a 12-year-old. So think of the time era. Think of, like, so those are the ones you kind of just like, I get where you're going, but,
Is that the dragon one?
which dragon one? Was he a
The
dragon?
gold dragon, silver dragon one that you told me about.
Is that? I think so. So like I watched the whole thing. I need another season. That's what I'm saying. Like it's not like it's bad, but at the same time, it's like it's not.
But you do have to be aware of the historical, cultural relevance
Of
that
the
it's
show.
finding itself in.
Because
You
if you-
can't put modern day viewpoints on a show that is trying to be historically accurate. It doesn't work.
It's inaccurate, but historically in that time period,
Yes.
because and it's magical and whimsical and
Yeah,
stuff like that. Like they
yeah.
use spells and stuff, but it's like and dragons. So it's like I get that, but it's like that one was kind of like I have
But if
to.
it's set in a specific time period, you have to respect that time period and the rules and laws that abided in that time period.
Which was fine to
And if
marry a
you don't,
12-year-old.
it's not going to work.
Yeah, which was fine to marry a 12-year-old bride, which technically in her head she was mentally
Well, I think
18.
back then it was even fine to marry like a 6-year-old, which is
Yeah.
weird. I don't like it.
Was she? No, she was 12. Let's not degrade her.
I'm just saying.
I might be up in her age. I don't remember the anime.
It doesn't matter.
But the point of it is there's a point of going just like, yes, you need to do that. And,
Yeah.
and someone was like, did you really have to do all that? And then you have both sides can be argued. Yes.
Yes, but
yes.
also no.
Yes. But yeah. No, I didn't have to do that, but I did,
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not saying to stop doing it. Please continue to give all the attention and love that these characters, this world that you're trying to build, give it, please. Because once we receive it, it's going to be ate up if it's good. It's going to be ate up, regardless if it's an anime, regardless if it's music, regardless if it's a TV show, a movie. Like with, what is it, Weak Hero. They just now dropped, I think, second season. It's been out, but they dropped second season right after a year. And as soon as that season ended, people was like, "Where's the next season?" And people was like, "Yo, they just finished this one." Take their time. They took their time. Please
take your time.
They took their time, and that's why season 2 was just like.
The same is true of video games too. Like I think of this Weekend in 1 and 2 remasters that I did a small, short little review on a little while ago. Please go watch that. Konami is famous for not the best business practices, not the best humane practices and all that. And certainly being very money grubbing and very money hungry. But they postponed the release of these remasters that people were looking forward to ensure quality. And we got it. I think I ran into one small bug while I was playing that caused me to have to turn the game off and turn it back on. Didn't lose any significant progress and was fine with it. Happened one time and one time only. That says mountains of wonderful things, because they said, let's pause, let's delay, take our time, make sure the quality is there for these people who want this, and then release it at the best that we can. And they did that. And I cannot be more grateful that they did, because they didn't have to do that. They could have released it at a very bad level of quality, looking at Pokemon in all of its forms here recently in the past 15 years. And they could have released a janky, disastrous mess that would have been forgotten and ignored. But they didn't. And Konami, who's known for being very greedy, straight up said, this is a property that we are beloved for. We're going to do this right. And they did.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be more grateful. They didn't have to. They could have said, we're just throwing it out there and making our money. But they did. I'm internally grateful that they did, because I love those games. And at the same time, they absolutely did, because if they didn't do it, if they did not put in that quality of work, the people who love that franchise would have come after them and said, what did you do? And that would have absolutely probably destroyed Konami's entire reputation. Not that it's a good reputation much as it is, but it would have demolished them. It absolutely would have.
Bouncing off of that, not in video games. I don't play video games like that.
I don't play that many video games now.
But with listening to your fan base, listening to the people that likes whatever genre it is, whatever it is.
Be careful about that. Listen to them, but also know when to stop.
Yes, but I'm talking about the ones that's just like, that looks like garbanzo beans. Could you please do this? And it's actually a good advice.
Yes.
Good advice.
Yes.
So example of that is Sonic. I don't know if anyone ever saw that original trailer of Sonic. It was terrifying.
Oh, yes, I remember.
The original Sonic trailer was absolutely terrifying. And a lot of fans, when it was like,
and they listened, they delayed it, and they brought it back out with a new
It wouldn't be what it is now. Movie 3?
I think it's coming to movie 4.
Yeah, about to be movie 4. It wouldn't have gotten that if they'd have done what they did.
It was
terrifying.
It would have been an absolute flop.
Yeah, so I'm glad that they changed it, because even when everyone was like, they was like, I'm scared to look at this.
Mm-hmm.
And so
way too Uncanny Valley. That's what I'm talking about with Uncanny Valley. You went too far into Uncanny Valley territory, blending the human and the hedgehog in the creepiest ways. It did not work.
Yeah, no, I was okay with my thing too. I was kind of tucked back to like, go to Space Jam. Y'all know how y'all did the animation, or Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
The mix between the live and you could have done that. But when they originally had the Sonic character, because I was like, I don't want that. You can give him the cartoony one, make him like the like I said, Space Jam or Who Framed Roger Rabbit, one of those two variants. But then they went back, they actually does like, okay, we can still make it look cartoonish, because it is.
Yep.
Still make it look cartoonish,
but put it in the world where it feels live still.
Yeah, like exactly. And so I don't think the movies would have hit as hard and done as so well if they had kept it with that creepy monstrosity that they had.
I like the voice work they had the guy for Knuckles do. Just saying.
Oh,
I love the Islander.
Idris.
Yes. They picked the right voice for that character, because up to this point, Knuckles is known for having a bit of a rough, gruff type of voice. Like I think of Dan Green, who voiced him in the early 2000s. God, I love Dan Green. What a voice actor. Point is, they chose Idris Elba, and it was a brilliant, inspired choice.
He is the character. He is Knuckles, and I love it. They've done so good matching the characters with these characters.
Mm-hmm.
Matching the actors with these characters.
I mean, matching the characters with the characters too, yes.
Matching, yeah. You saw that pause in between there. I knew that what I was about to say next was wrong. That pause there confirmed it. But so they've done so well with it. And then with Keanu Reeves' The Shadow. Keanu Reeves, that was beautiful because with the whole John Wick thing, and he got the perfect.
You need to pick the people that will embody the characters correctly.
I think Amy's next.
Yes, Amy is next, and Silver is next.
Yeah.
And Blaze is coming up at some point, I'm sure.
I'm just happy, that's what I'm saying, like this, because you were talking about you don't like sequels. This is a way to do it.
Yes.
This is the way to do it.
I like sequels, but they have to be done right.
You're following the lore and the plot line according to people that's actually followed it from day one. I know some of the shows, some of the movies, and some of the video games I played as a kid. Mm-hmm. So I know the characters well enough, but it's just like there's a way to do it. So thank you so much with the Sonic franchise, how you're doing it, with everything, with all the characters, how you're drawing them, the actors you're picking for it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I like sequels, but they have to be done right. Like I think of Shrek 2, phenomenal sequel, often even considered better than the first movie.
They need to stop there.
Yeah, this new remake, people are not happy about what they've done with.
I'm not even talking about the remake. I'm just talking about the rest of the Shrek movies that came after the second.
Yeah,
there's a point of.
What I don't like is sequelitis. I don't like sequelitis. Yeah, that's what bugs me. Is we're in an era of sequelitis, and it needs to stop. We need to go back to original things. These companies need to start being brave and just being like, all right, let's create something new and original, and that's where we go back to the K-pop Demon Hunters. They did something original. Books
in the world that you could just find something to be like get some inspiration off of a book that we haven't heard of.
Really?
There's so many, like right now. I'll save that thought for the next video. Yeah.
Point is, for all of this, no, you didn't have to go that hard. But yes, you did have to go that hard, because if you don't, you're going to be forgotten. You need to put forth the effort. You need to put forth the quality. The writing is essential. The character development is essential. The music, exceedingly important. It doesn't always have to be a bomb soundtrack, but it does need to be something that suits what's going on. No, you didn't have to go that hard for every little thing. And sometimes you can go too hard, too far, but you absolutely should go that hard if you want something that is going to last and have longevity and stick with your audience. That's how you wind up with things that are remembered in the most positive way. And sometimes you get things that aren't remembered in the most positive way.
You want to be on the spectrum of being remembered in at least the good side of it.
Yes.
Like I mentioned earlier with the whole live action with Avatar. Not the blue people, the actual Airbender. Yes. They tried to redeem themselves with the second one. I didn't watch it because I'm like, you already burned me with that first one.
Yeah.
But it's like that. Like there's ways to do it. There's ways to go about it. There's people, the characters that you're trying to create, there is people in this world, surprise, surprise, that can fit these characters, these ethnicities, that you can go and fix, that you can go and find and try to get them to audition for it if they so choose to do so. Mm-hmm. There's ways that you can do it. Don't stop taking shortcuts.
Please stop.
That's literally the thing about it. So yes, you didn't have to go so hard. I appreciate and love those who do go as hard as they do and give that good quality and those minor details. Even if the first time you watch it, you didn't catch it, but the second time you watch it, you're like, you get the aha moments. So yes, you didn't have to go that hard, but I'm so happy and grateful for those who do, those who really, I'm not saying those who put the stuff out don't love what they're doing, but the ones that really take care of the production and the people that's involved. And yes, some stuff you can still go just as hard without having to put too much in it, because you can be like, that wasn't necessary, right? Like that was hard, but it wasn't necessary. And so like with One Piece, we got 80 episodes in an 8-episode show, I think. Was it live action?
I think so, but they did it right because they picked the right points to do the thing
show.
on.
Like you didn't feel like nothing was missing out. Like they showed,
they cut the filler without it ever feeling lost.
Exactly. They did so well. The characters that they picked, the actors that they picked for these characters are beautifully well done. The actual creator,
and
I think,
they picked people that fit the characters based on the ethnicities.
So for those of you out there, for some freaking reason, is so butthurt about who they picked,
They picked the ethnically correct people for these characters.
So, look how yes, what he just said. That's a whole nother.
That's a whole nother can of worms. So we're not opening for this particular episode because that's a lot.
No, but that's the point of it is like, yes, it's 8 episodes and they squeeze 60, 80 anime episodes into that because they showed so much without cutting out too much.
But they cut the fat. They cut the fat.
Yeah, just give me the meat and the potatoes. I don't need all this extra fat and flubber. Okay, thank you. So
a little bit of vegetable just for that extra something.
Yeah, like.
But it doesn't need to be so much that it's too much.
This is new actors that we've seen, or at least I've seen, for like the One Piece thing, and they've done so well. And I'm knowing that with the next, if they continue on with them, which they don't have to hurry because the aging and everything, if they're trying to do the whole thing, if that's the case, but it's like, it was the first season. So there's going to be things to iron out. There's going to be things to fix. That's perfectly fine. Take your time. Even though
Please take your time.
Please take your time because you were doing so well with it, with any of these shows.
Yeah, don't flub it up now.
Yeah, just take your time on it. And the fans that are really fans will be there.
Yep. And the ones that aren't, well, that's their problem.
Yeah.
That's their problem.
Anyway, till next time.
Later.